It's September, one of my favorite months of the year, and I'm so excited to show you what we've chosen to put into our September morning basket this month. Hi, I'm Christy with Homeschooling in Progress, and a morning basket is a great way to gather all of your children that you're homeschooling together to be able to share wonderful enrichment subjects like art and music and poetry, and it's also a great way to do those things that sometimes get pushed to the side when you're a little busy and don't have time, such as maybe read alouds or nature study. And so I'm going to show you what we've chosen to include in our September morning basket this month and hopefully give you some ideas for your own morning basket. And these ideas really don't have to be done in September. Some of them are things that we'll continue to do the whole year long, and then others are wonderful, especially like our nature study is wonderful to do through the entire fall season. So let's go take a look. We begin each of our morning time days with a prayer, and then after that, we have lots of different activities that we like to do. One of those being games. And this is something new that we're doing this year. I got the idea from a brain training masterclass that I took. I'll link below in the description. But basically, these games work on developing the cognitive skills that kids need, as they grow. Some of these games work on certain things like math skills. Some of them work with memory. Some of them work with processing speed and attention, which are all wonderful, skills to have your kids build on. Blink uses speed. The kids are supposed to try to get rid of their cards by putting them in these piles based on color, the shape, or how many, and the first one to get rid of their cards wins. This game is very similar to that in the fact that they are trying to get rid of their cards. With This is Disney's I Found It. It's my 4-year-old's absolute favorite game. He always asks to play this. But the kids each have 5 cards and they're looking for a certain object. Once they find that object, they say, I found it, and then they turn their card over onto the pile, and now everyone looks for the next item on there. The Spot It is very similar in the fact that you're trying to match items. For this one, each card only has one item that matches another card. And like this one would be the green blobs here. And then you're trying to obviously, again, get rid of your cards. There are a variety of ways you can play these games, but that's how we play it. And then the World Brain Box, they do have other versions besides the World. They have versions of nature and art and just some different topics. For these, the kids get 10 seconds to look at the card, and then they have questions that they answer based on what they recall. And the final game that we have here is on math skills. The kids roll a die to get a number. That's the target they're trying to reach with the other dice that they roll. They can use and the way we play it is they can use addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. Depending on how many of the dice they're able to use is how many spots they go on the game board. And then obviously the first person to hit finish wins. So really quick, fun ways to get the kids moving and get their brains thinking, and but in a fun way. After our games, we move on to some activities that some are ones that we do each day and some that we only do once or maybe 2 or 3 times a week. One of the ones we do every day is the vocabulary cartoons. This is a really quick, simple way to do vocabulary with your kids. Each day, I write the vocab word, the part of speech, and the link up on our whiteboard that's in our classroom area, and cover up the definition to show the kids the picture with and I'll read the caption that goes with it, and then they try to figure it out based on that. And then I'll put the definition up on the whiteboard also and just leave it up all day for them to look up and to kind of remember that word. After every 10 days, then they have a quiz on it, on the words. And so I'll keep a running list of these words up on the whiteboard also, and we'll quickly go through them each day. And then they have the quiz on matching the definition with the word and then being able to use it in a sentence. And obviously, depending on your kid's skill level, if they're on the younger side, you may not do the quizzes at all, or maybe just have them do the top with the definitions. And obviously, if they're older, then they can do the entire thing. Something else we do every day is how we end our morning time. We like to do read aloud at the end of our morning time. It's a great transition into the individual work, and at that time, it's getting to the kind of the part of the morning where they're starting to get hungry and restless, and so we'll stop and get a quick snack that they can eat while I read, which is a great read aloud activity. Snacking or eating is because their mouths are full, so they can't talk while you are trying to read. But this book they were reading this month, Tuesdays at the Castle, I got the idea for this book in the Read Aloud Revival website. They have great book lists for different levels and just wonderful book lists to use. And this book does have magic in it, so you may want to avoid that if you don't like to do magic with your kids. But the story is about their parents and older brother go missing, and so the story is them trying to figure out where they went, along with trying to keep others from taking over the castle. So my boys have really enjoyed it so far. Then are some activities that we just do once or maybe a couple times a week. Life of Fred is an activity, it's a math supplement that we just do every Monday. We read a chapter of the book. It's a living book on a 5-year-old college professor named Fred, and just talks about things that are happening in his day. So we read a chapter together, and then the older boys will do a your turn to play that's at the end of each chapter, and then we go over the answers together. My 4-year-old doesn't do that part, but he loves listening to the story. He enjoys Fred. Then we have our nature study time. This is something that we do a couple of times a week. More, if we have time, we do it more often. If we don't, then, maybe we just do once or twice. I do try to get the kids outside to do like a nature walk around our yard. You can go to a park and such, but I find if something's really easy to do and quick, then it's more likely that we're going to do it. And so we just go outside and just observe what we can. I do try to have different themes set up either by the week or just, a couple through the month. This month in September, we're doing apples, seeds, and leaves. What we'll do is, like for the apples, we're going to go to an apple orchard and pick apples. And then for the seeds and leaves, we're just going to walk around our yard and try to find examples of seeds and leaves, and then just do activities based on those. Last year, we did some lanterns with the leaves that turned out really nice. So I'm trying to think of something that maybe we can do art-wise with leaves this year. The seeds, we walk around and just kind of collect them and leave them on the table for the kids to observe. Maybe talk about how they're dispersed. And then, so one of the days we do like a nature walk, and then the other days we'll read one of these books. And maybe if we have time that day, also do an activity with it, or save the activity for another day. For apples, we're probably going to make an apple treat as one of the activities. And then also, the boys have nature journals, and usually we'll spend a little bit of time at the end of the week or at the end of the study of that topic writing down what they've learned and maybe drawing pictures with it. So I mentioned that we do try to add in art. Art is something that we do really like doing in our home, and so we do a lot of it. Some of the things that we do, one of the things that we've been doing is including art pastels, or chalk pastels, with our art. And we get a lot of our lessons from chalkpastel.com. They have a You Are an Artist Clubhouse membership that have lessons based on specific topics, so we can coincide them with our nature studies, or maybe even tie them into books we're reading, or they have preschool lessons that I can use with just my younger one. They also have things like with composers or artists or time periods, history, geography. So you pretty much can find something that you can use as a lesson to pull in with other things that you're learning. And the only materials you need for these are chalk, pastels, and paper. So it's super easy to have on hand. Everyone from my 4-year-old on up to me can do this. So it's, for all ages, which is what I like to look for our morning time. And then also with art, this is a separate thing that we do, but we also are members of the Art History Kids. And each month there's a certain topic of either an artist or maybe a group of artists around a single topic. And each week I get emailed a PDF that I can either just look at on the computer or print out, and it tells me everything that I need to share with the kids based on the artist, their background. It ties in different subjects like history or geography or science, even sometimes literature. It ties it into that topic or artist as well. We learn the techniques they used to create their art, and then the kids have time to create a project of their own that's a very open-ended project, kind of inspired by that artist or their technique that they use. So it's a really great way. My youngest will like to do, he does like to do the art activity, but then I usually do just the background and stuff with the older boys. Um, but a really great program for a wide range of ages also that I like to do. So hopefully all of these ideas will inspire you for your own morning time to what to put in your own basket, whether it's for this month of September or future months. Thank you for watching and happy homeschooling.